Well, hello there. Welcome back. Guess who you got? Elvis Fans Matter right here. And we appreciate y'all watching us, and your comments and all are appreciated, and we enjoy doing these videos. So, you know, just keep telling your friends and all to subscribe to it, and it's free. And
I just want to say one thing. The truth.
If you sure.
The truth matters, and when we tell something, it's to the best of our knowledge, or what's been told to us by Elvis or by one of Elvis's family members that was there, or we were there. And if it's hearsay and somebody told us, we'll say that. We'll let you know, just to clear that up. We don't, you know.
Today I'd like to
go ahead.
You know, I'd like to talk about
family.
I'll talk about, like Uncle Tracy. I know we didn't talk a whole lot about him, but he was such a character when he was, you know, he was next. He was the third boy, and I believe it was Daddy.
Yeah, your daddy.
Uncle Tracy and Uncle Johnny.
He was the second boy.
Of course, Aunt Cletus, I think, was in between Uncle Johnny and Uncle Tracy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Uncle Tracy, he was, you know,
he was a character.
Character, yeah. And the reason, you know, I bring that up is because Uncle Tracy, after he was born and all, he had a fever of some kind. If they ever told me, I've forgotten. But anyway, that's what affected him. He had, you know, like the mind of a 8, 10-year-old.
8 or 10-year-old?
12, something like that. I don't know. It wasn't very high. I know it was that way. But anyway, you know, he was more, you know, like a kid in a lot of ways.
But very strong.
And oh gosh, but you know, he used to like to fight. I don't know, he just got it. People just picked on him, you know, because of the way he was. And a whole hell of a lot of them wish he hadn't, because believe me, he was quite a strong individual. And anybody that knew him knew he was. But I know one time, I think Gladys was telling us about, he was staying with her, and they had a wood pile out beside the house, and Uncle Tracy had come off the porch and was getting some wood for the fireplace, you know, for the house and all, and Uncle Johnny got to ragging him, and Uncle Tracy, you know, sometimes he didn't know when you was kidding and when you weren't, you know, and you didn't want to, you know, you didn't want to make him too mad, but he did. He made Uncle Tracy really, really mad. And about the only thing that I know Uncle Tracy was really scared of was the law. I mean, he was scared of the cops, you know. Now, ask me why, I can't positively tell you, but I know he was, from everybody that knew Uncle Tracy and my family and all that always told me that. So, but anyway, get back to the story. It made Uncle Tracy extremely mad. So Uncle Johnny swung at him. And when he did, he just grabbed him by his arm, and he grabbed him around his neck, and somehow got his arm underneath his legs like that, and picked him up over his head, and actually threw him up on the porch. Well, Aunt Gladys heard the ruckus, and she come running out, and she saw it was Uncle Tracy, because he was, you know, he's getting ready just to beat the fool out of him. And she went running out after him and said, Tracy, Tracy. quit that, you're going to hurt him, quit that. And he seemed to keep going, and she said, the law's coming after you. And she said, that's what got him. And he ran, and they had to, go after him and get him and said, no, just wanted you to quit. And we tried to explain to him, but it didn't make any difference if it was brother or who. If you made him mad, boy, you were in for, either you were going to do something or you better do something. Another time was, golly, I remember them telling this so much. He went to the store, and they had a outhouse out back of the stores back in. And that was just for, whoever had to go. But anyway.
Outhouse.
Outhouse. Oh, it's the outhouse. So they went in and buying a couple of things. And this elder from the church and all said, Uncle Johnny said, Uncle Johnny, I'm sorry, Uncle Tracy said, look, you got a smoke? And back then they rolled a lot of them, and so this guy said, yeah, so give him some tobacco and all, and rolled it, and this guy said, wait a minute, and he had some of these already ready rolls, as they called them in, and he offered Uncle Tracy one, but when he did, Uncle Tracy took two. And for some reason that set the guy off. It made him mad. He said, I'm as rude as you can be. And he mouthed off to Uncle Tracy, and Uncle Tracy mouthed back. Anyway, he told that storekeeper, he said, I'm fixing to teach this guy some manners. So he told Tracy, come on with me.
Excuse me.
So he was going to take him in the outhouse and just, where nobody could see, and just, beat the fool out of him, since he was, big elder of the church. So they went out there, and they went in, and he reached up and he wired the door closed.
So Tracy couldn't get out.
So Uncle Tracy couldn't get out. Well, you heard bang, 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 and then you heard boom. Well, if you can't guess, let me tell you. Tracy hit that poor guy. Now, this guy weighed about 210 pounds. Uncle Tracy was only like 160. And this guy hit the door. And the door and this guy hit the ground. I kid you not. I mean, he knocked him clean through that door. And once again, it was, getting ready to really pound on him pretty good. And the store guy come out there and said, law's coming. Law came. We got Uncle Tracy, and anyway, the little lady had to go to court, and this guy showed up and all that, and a couple of big old nice bumps on his face and bruises. And he had charged, Uncle Tracy with assault. And the judge, he said, well, he said, can y'all kind of explain to me? So this guy explained what happened his way, and Uncle Tracy and I believe it was Aunt Gladys that had gone, and Uncle Vernon had gone with him, and had told him what had happened his way, and Uncle Tracy filling in some of it, himself. Anyway, it went on back and forth for a little while, and finally the judge looked at this elder. He said, how much you weigh? He said, somewhere around 210 or something like that. And he looked at Uncle Tracy, and he said, look, he said, you mean this little guy right here did that to you? Yeah, but he's crazy. He's crazy. He said, case dismissed. So this guy got insulted in court and got a good butt kicking at Uncle Tracy. Of course, all the time he's worried they're gonna lock him up, all that stuff.
But he was
but
the most gentle.
He was really gentle. If you didn't aggravate him,
He
was as
used to
gentle as he
push
could be.
Danny around on his tricycle. And Tracy would push, and then he'd jump up on the back and ride with Danny.
Of course, you know, wheels would go almost out, but anyway, he was funny. He was such a easy-going guy as you want, unless you just, you know,
you gotta
made him
tell
mad.
about him coming to get what Elvis owed him.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah.
He lived
had to know what
sometimes with your parents and sometimes with Elvis'
he
parents
stayed with everybody.
family.
He'd just go around and stay with different people.
But he was your daddy's brother, Elvis's mother's brother. So
and everybody else, you know. It was in the family, Cletus,
Johnny.
Aunt Lillian, you know, all of them. It was, you know, his family. He'd spend time with all of them. But he was spending a lot of time with us, living with us at the time in 57, all the way up to about 60. God, I want to say about 62. And then he started living with, or going around to other people's, you know, and staying with them. So, but during that time, in 57, I remember one time that he was in need of some money. And of course, you know, he just said whatever come in his mind. So he went out to Elvis's and he knew Elvis, you know, paid, you know, the ones that worked for him and all that, relatives and all. And he come out there and he sat down and he said, yeah, but I need this. And Elvis was sitting there listening to him. And he said, yeah, but I need this. And Elvis finally said, Uncle Tracy, what do you need? He said, well, I need a lot of things. He said, now I just come for my money. He said, because I need tobacco, I need a pair of new shoes, and so on. He named 3 or 4 things. Elvis started laughing. Because he said, I just came for my money. And Elvis said,
at least he's honest.
Yeah, he said, well, Uncle Tracy, how much you think I owe you? And he said, well, let me see now. He went back to figuring. He said, I figure $40 ought to do it. $40. But that was just a figure that come to his mind, you know. But he was a funny, easygoing.
You've got to tell about the guy that when they paid him, and the guy said, "You don't, you know."
Oh, no, that was before he come. That was before he came to Memphis. They were in Tupelo, and he was staying with
probably one of your cousins.
Yeah, I think it was St. Vera or something. Anyway, he was staying with some of the family down in Tupelo, and they hired out as, you know, as cotton picking hands and all that. And I think sharecroppers and all that, you know, they'd hire out and pay people, you know, to pick their cotton. And I think after they picked about 2 weeks or something like that. And anyway, they had made about $20, I believe, all told. And so him and this guy, you know, they was going to split the money, and the reason being that Uncle Tracy picked more cotton than he could, and I think he knew that. But anyway, they decided to split it when they started. Split it right down the middle regardless, you know. So this guy, we were walking along the road, and he said, well, now, he said, let me say, Tracy, he said, I owe you some money. He said, yeah. He said, about my money. He said, okay. He said, you can get my money now. So guy rolled off a 5 and give it to him. And Uncle Tracy, you know, he wasn't
stupid.
He wasn't just completely dumb, you know. So he said, no. He said, no, you owe me more than this. He said, no, he said, "Yeah, but you don't really need, you don't really need it like I do." And Tracy said, "Yeah, but man, I work, I want my money." Said, "You give me my money." And this guy said, "No," Tracy said, he said, "You just go on now, you got enough." Well, Tracy hit him, he hit the ground, out cold as a biscuit. And Uncle Tracy just reached in his pocket, got all of it. And when he got to where he was going, they said, "Where'd you get all that money?" And he said, yeah, but
He always said, "Yeah, but."
Yeah, but he didn't need it. He didn't need it either. He didn't need it. It was mine. Part of it was mine, but he didn't need his either.
He just took all of it.
So he just took all the guy's money. But gosh, people that, he was a funny man, and yet he was,
He's the one that shaved with your.
Yeah. But,
I think there's so many stories.
There's so many stories
Tracy.
about Uncle Tracy. He was.
It was so funny.
I loved him. He was just a comical person, and
he loved to watch the gate. Every so often they would let him watch the gate for a little bit while they went to lunch or something, and he loved it.
And we'll tell another story. I think we've told it before, but we'll tell it maybe a little later. Oh no, I'll tell you. I'll just tell it now. Elvis would get him to help watch the gate. He'd pay him, and because he could see cars coming in and out. He was a little hard of hearing, but not real bad, but just some. And sometimes he would misunderstand what somebody was saying. So Nita had been out, and she was coming to Graceland to see Elvis. And Uncle Tracy was on the gate, so he didn't recognize her. And he walked out of the little door shack and he said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Yeah." Said, "Tell Elvis that Anita's here." And he said, No. He said, "You go ahead on. They don't need no wood. They got gas and all."
I said Anita
wood. Yeah, Anita wood. And he said, "No, we don't need no wood. We don't need no wood. You just go on now." And she says, "No, my name is Anita Wood." Finally got him to understand. No,
they got gas up there.
They got gas up there.
Poor thing. I'm glad he didn't let people take advantage of him.
He knew. But that was Uncle Tracy.
Everybody in the family loved Tracy.
Yeah.
He just.
But they said it so many. We'll cover some more stories about Uncle Tracy too. But with that, what do we always say?
Elvis fans matter.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thanks for watching.